Is it true that Mick Hucknall had to shave off his dreadlocks because Martine McCutcheon puked on them backstage at Nebworth?
Welcome. We are Neil,
Luke and Dave.
340-somethings, reminiscing on the runners and riders of 90s guitar music.
We look at the bands who soundtracked our youth on both sides of the pond and interview some of our heroes from the bands that defined a generation.
You'll hear about the good, the bad and the ugly of 90s guitar music.
This podcast is Stupid and Contagious. Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Stupid and Contagious podcast. 13. Unlucky for some.
Not for
Hopefully
us.
not for us. Yeah.
No.
This one we're going to be talking about 1991. It's a big one. It's a big year. Before we get into the this week's podcast, Luke, you went to a gig this week. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, so I went to see the Suede Manic Street Preachers double bill, which I think doesn't start in the UK till next year, right?
I think so, yeah.
They've done an Asian tour now. Yeah, big thanks to my friend Catherine for sorting me out on that. It was amazing. It was incredible. Yeah, really, really good. The Manics were great. They were, I don't know. Yeah, I said in the Facebook post, they made me a bit emotional. I don't know why.
Man. Totes it, man.
It's the power of music, right? Again,
yeah, I've got a similar story, but you carry on with yours. But I'll tell us.
I think, especially like when they played like "You Love Us." Last week we were talking about Dunn's Record Shop, and just had that that Proustian rush of taking me back to buying a single of "You Love Us" for 15p or whatever, and just I don't know, man, it just got me.
It wasn't the first time you've seen Suede, was it?
It was the first time I've seen them, and I love Suede.
I was going to say, I know you've seen the Manics at Nebworth, but I wasn't sure about Suede.
And Suede just took me by surprise, man. They were incredible. Yeah.
I've seen Suede.
Have you? When?
Yeah, Newport. When I was at Cardiff Uni.
Yeah, man, still got it. He was all over the stage, just like really going for it. Just one of the best live performances I think I've probably ever seen. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Brett Anderson. Even in his sort of later years, he still sort of pulls it out.
Oh, man. He looks hot. He looks better than he did back in the day. He's a good-looking guy. Yeah. It's great. And you went to Shine On. So tell us about it, man.
I did.
What? First of all, how did you sort out? How are we media all of a sudden,
mate? It's who you know. No, I sent the guys at Shine On an email. Just said, look, we've got this podcast. Love to come down and have a look. A lot of the bands are either on the podcast or coming on the podcast. So, and we're going to get them on at some point, hopefully. Anyway, the guys who run Shine, because that'd be a great episode.
Yeah, it'd be great
to have. Yeah, and they were really good, and they just sorted me out of a press pass. So happy days. Went down there.
Give us the highlights.
It was surprising for me. The highlights. Like,
go on.
My highlight was probably the Farm altogether. Now,
well, they're coming up on today's Wang.
What it was, because you know that I don't know if you do know, but Manny's wife died this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's had a long battle with cancer. So he dedicated Altogether Now to Manny and his boys, and it was just really, like you say, it was really emotional, right? It was, the power of music was right there at that moment. Everyone was singing along, and it was just beautiful, man. Just beautiful. Yeah. I really loved it. But there's so many great bands. In Spiral Carpets, I'd never seen them before. They were fucking great. Jesus Jones opened it all up. They were good. Terrorvision. I was never a massive Terrorvision fan, but they put on a really good show.
Wow.
I saw them as well. They were really good.
Yeah, no, they were good.
Back in the day.
Who else? Neds Atomic Dustbin. Brilliant. I love Neds Atomic Dustbin. They put on a great show. Fun-loving Criminals without Huey, but they, even without him, they still, the style's all still there, and they were great. Black Grape, they were great.
I saw them back in the day as well at Brighton Centre. I'd like to see them. Great.
I know, not you, Luke, but the other Luke was a massive Black Grape fan as well, right?
That's my my brother-in-law, by the way. Listeners. Yeah.
So Yeah, they were really good. Sean Ryder looked quite well. They're all drinking Sprite these days. Carter, well, Jim Bob from Carter, he was brilliant. He's got a really nice tight band together, and it's just really great.
Were EMF there?
EMF weren't there, but James was there with Bentley Rhythm Ace. Bentley Rhythm Ace were fucking brilliant. They were probably my favourite band from the weekend.
Oh wow!
Really energetic. It was just a great show.
I think I saw them back in the day in like the Big Beat Boutique in Brighton.
All right. Yeah,
one of those.
Yeah. But that would have been mental in there.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Wonderstuff, they were brilliant.
Going to be talking about them later as well.
Yeah, they were really, really, really good. Really good band. So they had the main stage, and then they had like a smaller stage. They had some other bands on after the main stage had closed. And I saw Rialto. They were fucking great.
Oh, I love a bit of Rialto. Yeah,
so they're back. I think they're releasing new stuff, and we might have them on the podcast soon. Supernaturals, I admit I didn't know much of their stuff apart from the ones that everyone knows, but they were good. Sleeper.
Oh wow.
Sleeper. Yeah, I've never seen them before. They were, still pulled a good crowd. And then also I nipped into there's like a dance bit. I nipped in there and I caught the Orb. Not how I expected to see the Orb, sober and it's not really the done thing, but
no.
They were really good. And Mr. C.
Mr. C.
The Shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was behind the decks. He put on a good set too.
Huh.
And they also had other stuff going on there, like they had like a little cinema thing. And I went to see I Am Weekender. They showed the I Am Weekender documentary.
Oh wow.
It's fucking brilliant.
Right.
And they had a Q&A afterwards with Tim and
forthcoming guest on the podcast.
Forthcoming guest on the podcast.
Tim Dorney, that is.
That documentary is fucking brilliant.
So what's that about?
Well, it's just about their song Weekender.
Flowered Up he's talking about.
So they're sort of what's that word? Magnum. It's not magnum opus, is it?
That's good enough, man. I like it.
What is it?
Use it. Magnum opus, dude.
Was Weekender, the song Weekender, which is like I think the chart version ended up being about 8 minutes, but I think there is a 40-minute version of it or something.
No. Even the chart version is like 19 minutes.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah.
So the documentary is just about the making of the video for Weekender, but it also talks about the band and the band's story, and it's just it really takes you back to those heady early 90s days,
Does it deal with the brothers and all their drug troubles and
it does?
And all that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does deal with that. Yeah. It's just a great documentary that I recommend everyone goes and
Brilliant.
watches.
Well, I'm going to make a note of that. What's the name of it?
I Am Weekender. It's called.
I Am Weekender. That's it.
Yeah, and then they did a Q&A, and it's just really brilliant morning spent doing that. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, you did a load of stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great weekend.
Yeah. So what was it like? A festival in Butlins.
It's become a thing now. I think it's a really good setup, to be honest. It sounds like it could be really bad, right? But it's not. Everyone's there in their chalets, for the weekend. So everyone's in the same place. The sound and lights are just amazing. Like a huge festival. Like they've spent a lot of time and money making a great space for bands to play.
Where did you stay?
I stayed in a chalet. I had a couple of friends that couldn't go, so they had a room free. So I got lucky there as well.
Did they have ballroom dancing as well?
See, I think that was off for the weekend.
Did they have a knobbly knees contest?
Again, I think that the sort of bands took preference over these, but
I reckon I'd have a good chance in that.
Yeah, it's not like Heidi High anymore.
Doesn't anyone care what I did?
No.
Not really.
No, we're good, man. No. Okay, should we get on with the with the wang then? So much to cover.
Yeah, let's do it. I know. 1991. It's a big one.
1991.
Hang on a minute.
No, I'm not joking. I really don't give a fuck.
Well, firstly, Why didn't Neil take me along with him?
I asked. Don't make out I didn't ask.
He asked me Thursday.
I didn't know till Thursday. It was a last minute thing.
I know, but it's a bit last minute. And
what am I supposed to do? If I don't know the day before, how can I ask you?
So I couldn't go because I was going to the opera on Friday, actually.
Oh, sorry.
What was the name of the opera?
Oh, I can't speak Italian, but the Elixir of Love.
Go on.
Elixir d'amore.
Like a native.
It was good. Never been to an opera before.
No, how was it?
It was good. They had super titles, which was really helpful because otherwise you wouldn't know what was going on.
What's a super title?
Well, subtitles is below, isn't it? Super is above the stage.
Oh, I didn't know there's a difference.
But how did they do it? It's not a TV screen. How did they project it on there?
No, it's like a big LED display up there where they show translation of what they're singing.
Cool. I don't mind a bit of opera, actually.
I was a bit like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman when she saw the opera for the first time.
Did you dress like her?
Yeah.
Oh, so you did actually do something mildly interesting. All did some music related stuff. So that's good. Year is 1991.
Seems that freedom's dead and gone. Oh, we're the same. Jinx, man.
The power of the rich is held by few.
Keep the young ones paralysed.
Educated by your lies.
Keep the old ones happy with the news.
Let's start with the charts. Did anyone look up top singles and albums? Okay, should we do top 5 singles? So number 1, obviously.
Everything I do it for you. In brackets.
Thanks, man. But what's the number 1 song? Yeah, Bryan Adams, of course, record breaking, 16 weeks at number 1, right?
You can boo-hoo that all you like, but that's an achievement, right?
No one's boo-hooing it or poo-pooing it.
It's never going to happen again. That was a moment in history.
I did. It was broken by Wet, 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 like a couple of years later.
Apart from that, yeah, but those two, it would never happen again after those two. Because music's not consumed like that anymore, right?
No, it won't happen now. That's true.
And a classic quiz question is what single knocked it off?
Is it Right Said Fred?
No, it's The Fly by U2. And that film's a pretty good film. I like it.
Is that why you're wearing like a jerkin today?
It's not a gherkin.
Why are you wearing a jerkin?
What is a jerkin? Is that what
You're a jerk.
Is that what you've got?
You're a jerkin. Go on. Okay, number 2, do you know?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, yes. So Freddie died. Yeah, it was pretty sad, wasn't it? When he died, it was.
Yeah. I think the tragedy of it is just that they didn't have the medication at the time, isn't it? If he'd have contracted it now, he'd be fine.
Yeah, and it didn't really come out until like a week before he died, right? It was like, it's like an announcement to make. Everyone kind of knew, but it didn't make it official. That's kind of sad as well that you had to live with it in secret.
Whether you do or don't like Queen, and they were a great band, and he's an amazing frontman.
So did he die in 91 and the big concert was in 92?
Is that right?
Yeah, which we watched round my house, if you remember.
Did we?
I had the whole crew round.
It was a brilliant concert, wasn't it?
Well, let's save it for 92. Let's save it for the 92 one.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, number 3.
I'm Too Sexy.
No, it's number 4.
For my jerkin.
I'm too sexy for my jerkin. Come on, I'll give you a clue. Resurrected 60s star. Came from a film.
Shoop Shoop song.
Shoop Shoop song. It's in his Kiss. Share. Yeah. Great song.
It's all right, isn't it? All right, yeah. Don't mind it. I like Winona Ryder. She's cool.
Yeah. She was back then, right? She was like every indie boy's like pin-up,
but she's
right?
good
Winona
in Stranger
Ryder.
Things as well.
Yeah, she really is.
Things.
Yeah.
It's quite kooky. I like it.
And number 5, singles. I'll give you a hint. Eat My Shorts.
Oh, the Bartman.
To the Bartman. That's like so 90s, right? Let's move on. Okay, let's do. Do you know the top 5 albums? Did you look it up? It's much more difficult to get data on albums, but yeah. All right, let's go through quickly. Let's go in descending order. Number 5, Michael Jackson. Which album?
Dangerous.
Dangerous. Yeah.
I do want to say something about the album. It's got
Slash.
Give In To Me, yeah, with Slash on it, which is one of my favourite songs of all time, I think. I've listened to it quite a lot lately. It's brilliant, yeah.
And they had the black or white video with the faces changing gradually. It was like a revolution at the time. Do you remember that?
I read that there was. I don't think this is even true, but I read that there was controversy generated by the video's last 4 minutes, in which Jackson smashes windows, vandalizes a car, and causes a building to explode, as well as suggestively grates his crotch repeatedly while dancing.
Does he grate it or does he gyrate it?
I'm not sure. I might have read that wrong.
I think if you grate your crotch, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it might be gyrate makes more sense.
It does, although I mean that would be controversial.
It wasn't controversial, was it?
It would if he grated his cock.
He has done some controversial. Well, he might have done some controversial stuff before or since, but I don't remember it being a controversial video.
Why was it controversial?
Because he smashes stuff
and grates his cock.
Number 4, Tina Turner, album title.
Simply the Best?
Simply the Best.
Is it? That was just a guess.
Number 3, Queen, album title.
Greatest Hits.
Greatest Hits 2. Eurythmics.
Greatest Hits.
Greatest Hits. And the number 1 best-selling album of 1991, unfortunately, Simply Shit.
Oh, Simply Shit stars.
Is it true that Mick Hucknall had to shave off his dreadlocks because Martine McCutcheon puked on them backstage at Nebworth?
Yeah.
That's the story, right?
I fucking hope so. That's brilliant.
Apparently.
You'd never get the smell out, would you?
No, exactly. You had to shave them off.
That's a good Britpop story.
Other notable entries. One that you love, Neil, The Waterboys, Whole of the Moon.
Great song. But I don't know much about the Waterboys, to be fair. I'm not going to pretend to be a Waterboys aficionado. I just like that song.
People that like them, they really like them, right? They got a good fan base still, the Waterboys. There was a weird trend in the charts of tracks being used in adverts and then coming back into the charts, like old songs.
I got that as well. I got that. Free All Right Now.
Free All Right Now.
Yeah. And Should I Stay or Should I Go? By the
Yeah.
Clash.
Yeah. Also, not related, but The Doors, Like My Fire, because the Doors film came out. That was in the charts as well.
Great! That's a great film. Was that 91?
I love that film.
That is a good film.
It was weird, right? Everyone got into the Doors at that time, right?
Yeah. You loved them, didn't you? I hated them.
I'd read like 2 or 3 books on them before I'd even heard the music, and I just got really into the whole kind of concept of them. I've
never understood the Doors.
I like the Doors. LA Woman is my favourite album.
I'm going to go with the Doors. The Doors. It's an obvious answer, but every track on it's great, basically. Yeah, I understand why you don't like them, though. I mean, they're pretentious, like sixth form poetry nonsense, if you look at it objectively. But I don't know, man. They just seem cool as fuck at the time.
Yeah, I get why they people do like them. It's for the reason that I don't really. It's the poetry to music thing, but it just doesn't really work for me. I can't get into it.
I listen to them quite a lot still. They're good stuff. It's good.
It's a great film, though.
Yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? He looks so much like everyone's image of Jim Morrison is like Val Kilmer nowadays, right? Because he basically took on the persona so much. Other things I really wanted to mention: 2 Unlimited, loved it. Nomad, I Want to Give You Devotion, loved it, and especially for us, Neil, Heavy D and the Boys.
Now That We've Found Love,
man, we used to listen to that a lot on the beach, right?
We're not musical snobs. I did like that 2 Unlimited. They were good. Do you know what I mean? They were good at the time. Heavy D and the Boys, that song, yeah. I kind of remember that and Set Adrift on Memory Bliss. PM Dawn.
Nice. PM Dawn. PM
Dawn. Don't know if that was the same year or not, but
I think it was
around that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, those songs, on the beach, those hazy days down the groin, jumping off the groin.
Yeah, man, into the sea.
What about another film and another song from the year? Terminator 2. You Could Be Mine. I love that song and that film.
It's the best sequel to a film ever.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, great film, great soundtrack.
Okay, before we leave the charts, my brother Jake would never forgive me for not mentioning Mr. Big, To Be With You.
And he'd be right to be annoyed if we didn't mention it.
It's the most American song of 91, I'd say.
That's a good message. It's great. It's great.
Just those hazy days on the beach. I keep going back to it, but it was something.
Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah. Right. So I'm just going to, just before we get onto the actual indie stuff that probably most people have tuned in for, I'm just going to run you through a few notable things that happened in the music industry that year. So Steve Clark from Def Leppard died.
Oh, wow.
Sad loss to the Leopard. Founding member. Yeah, it's sad. This is quite good. I just found this quite funny because of what we spoke about in a previous podcast. The Black Crowes are dropped from as the opening act of ZZ Top's tour.
Because they're shit.
Because they're shit, yeah.
Yeah. Apologies to all the people we offended last time.
We just done it again.
Yeah. Well, they're still shit. Not our fault.
New Kids on the Block star Donnie Wahlberg is arrested for allegedly setting his hotel room on fire.
Rock and roll. New Kids on the Block, they were good, weren't they?
Is he related to Mark Wahlberg?
Of course, it's his brother, Marky Mark.
Mark wasn't in the band, was he?
No, it was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
And that's the same Mark Wahlberg that's went on to be a Hollywood star. And it's the same person as Matt Damon.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's
remember my brother-in-law Luke, he had the Marky Mark workout video. Do you remember that?
Fuck off.
He used to do it, and it's like Marky Mark, he's got my fly honeys over here, and it's so good, man.
Did he wear that exercise gear his mum bought him for Christmas that year?
Luke, no. We used to sit and do the Marky Mark workout video. It was great.
That's the best thing that's ever happened to me when he walked in wearing that.
It's like a crop top.
Okay. So Luke's brother-in-law, Luke.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, his mum bought him this ill-fitting exercise gear for Christmas, which he
it wasn't ill-fitting.
Wearing.
It was supposed to look like that. It was supposed to be like a crop top.
It's just the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, we used to call it his Leroy suit, Leroy from Fame.
Country music legend Kenny Rogers starts his restaurant chain, Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Big event. What do you reckon they sell? Roasted what? Chicken?
Yeah, chicken. It's got to be, isn't it?
Is that it?
Well, that was just a little rundown of notable things in the music industry that year.
Massive. Never forget the day I first heard about Kenny Rogers' roasted restaurant.
That one I thought would be funnier than it when I read it out. It actually was.
It was funny enough, man. It's funny enough.
When I initially chuckled to myself when I thought, oh, the boys will find this funny.
I was laughing inside. Inside, it was. Yeah.
I just felt really disappointed as you told us.
Well, that wasn't the intention, but finally get to the meat of the episode.
All right, let's go. Let's start with the big ones.
Never mind.
What's there to say, right? It's Dave. What's your take on Nevermind? Were you a fan?
Yeah, of course. I had that bleach top that you wanted.
Well,
I swapped it for motorcycle boots, which I bought, which I hated.
What are you talking about?
I bought these motorcycle boots. I don't know why. I thought they would suit me, and they just didn't suit me at all.
What? And Dave had his motorcycle.
But I actually had a motorcycle.
Exactly. Well, moped. Yeah. And so I swapped those boots, which were like quite expensive for like this cheap fucking fake Nirvana bleach long sleeve, like a tie-dyed kind of thing.
Yeah, never mind. What can
we say about it changed the face of music forever, right?
Yeah, not only did it kind of, I mean, grunge was sort of, it was starting, it was motoring along anyway, but that kind of brought it to the masses, didn't it? But also, I read, and I think it's somewhat true, it kind of killed off that whole glam rock scene. Because that was still, bands like Poison and Motley Crue and that was still big in 1991.
Well, I've heard John Bon Jovi talking about this, and he says, overnight we just looked silly,
lost all credibility overnight. Which I don't think's really just. I think they're good bands, but yeah, that did happen.
The album itself, it's just perfect pop song after perfect pop song. It's incredible, right?
I'm not happy with that description. I don't think they're pop songs.
It is pop.
It's full of catchy hooks, and it's a pop. They're pop songs.
Yeah, and that's where I don't think they do really have those catchy pop hooks.
Really?
Don't be a dick. You can't sit there in a jerkin and say that Nirvana haven't.
Let me ask you this: how many times over the past 5 years have you listened to Nevermind?
But I always said that I was never I was more of a Kurt Cobain fan than a Nirvana. Nirvana isn't my go-to listen.
I think it was a brilliant album then, but I don't think it stood the test of time.
Oh, I disagree. I still listen to it a lot, and it's completely stands out for me. See, I think it's got everything. It's got the influence and the impact, but it's also completely deservedly so. I think it's almost perfect album. I think it changed everything.
Name some tracks off it. So you got Lithium, Smells Like Teen Spirit,
Come As You Are, Breed, Polly, Drain You, Lounge Act, Stay Away, On a Plane. They're every one of them. You know them, don't you?
Territorial Pissings is not a pop song.
Not a traditional one, but in the context, it is one. I guess it's not. But I don't know. It's a great song. Every single tune I just said, right? As soon as I said that title, they popped into your head, right?
Yeah.
It's there forever. It's there,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we'll move on to what are you saying, Dave? 10.
That was 91, wasn't
it?
Yeah. Again, not something I really listened to at the time. I was never a massive Pearl Jam fan back then. I probably more so now. But yeah, it's a great album.
We talked about it in the grunge one, but yeah, it's just, as I said, like a perfectly fully realized debut. It's just amazing, really.
Yeah, and it's it's got Black on it and Jeremy and all those classics.
Even Flow. Yeah.
Even Flow. Alive. Is that a song?
Oh yeah, Alive. Yeah. But again, right, Once, Even Flow, Alive, Why Go, Black, Jeremy, Ocean's Porch Garden, the release. I mean, again, just know all of them, right?
Yeah, great album.
Okay, well, as let's stay with American then, as where we've done two.
I'm going to go with Metallica, Black Album.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant, that album. For me, I think I was listening to that more than Nirvana and Pearl Jam. I love that album.
It's half a good album for me.
And is that got Enter the Sandman on it?
Enter Sandman,
it's got that on it.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Luke. Like, I only kind of remember half the song.
Nothing Else Matters. It's the big one. Enter Sandman. Unforgiven.
Do you remember Burger King with that cinema screen?
Yeah.
I mentioned it in another thing. But they used to play Nothing Else Matters on that every time we were in there, pretty much, I think. It was on rotation heavy on MTV.
It's a great song.
That's where the cheeseburger incident happened.
I know that was when we were really drunk. Is that the one you mean? When I chucked your cheeseburger in a bin?
No, but now you bring that up. You bastard. Why would you do that?
Because I drank loads of Tennant Super.
And your aggression towards me came out.
What's the cheeseburger incident, Dave?
Well, it's probably only me that remembers it because it was personal to me. But Neil had a girlfriend, Naomi.
Oh yeah.
And she
the
had
beading
some
girls.
friends, and we all met them.
Girls.
And one of them, for some reason, hated me. I don't know what I'd done to offend her.
I don't get it.
Probably the jerkin.
Were you wearing the jerkin?
No,
Are we
I wasn't.
even using the right word? Jerkin. I don't even know if that's the right word.
Let's stick with it.
Yeah.
Fine.
I was buying the cheeseburgers, and I always get plain ones. I hated the gherkins in a cheeseburger, so I would always just say plain, please. So I brought her back her cheeseburger, and that was plain, and she just had a complete meltdown, and all the hatred came out.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, man. Are you okay?
Well, I mean, obviously, trauma stays with you, but it's just that feeling of being hated. It's not nice.
That's hard, man.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, though. Thanks for sharing. Okay, can I go next? Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Guns N' Roses.
1 or 2?
Oh, good
1.
question. 2.
Oh no, it's 2 for me. 2 for me.
Go on, Dave. Why 1?
Well, I think 1 had You Could Be Mine on it.
Well, it was on both. Alternative
was it?
version was on 2. Yeah.
And I like Live and Let Die as well.
Mm.
November Rain, wasn't that on 1? I did like Get in the Ring.
Motherfucker. I had the T-shirt.
Kick your bitchin' little ass.
What the fuck does it mean? Use Your Illusion.
Well, Use Your Illusion, man.
What did you say? November Rain. I think you're right. November Rain was on 1.
Yeah, Don't Cry was on 1. Don't Cry alternate lyrics was on 2. I prefer the alternate lyrics version of Don't Cry.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But yeah, like I remember when those albums come out.
Releasing 2 albums on the same day. It's an interesting idea, right? Yeah.
There was a documentary about it at the time, and Slash said they weren't sure how it was going to go down. Like they thought people would think, who are these fuckers that think that, we're going to want to listen to 2 albums worth of their new material sort of thing. But it worked, right?
I mean, it should have been 1 album though, shouldn't it? There's enough crap on there to take it out, right?
Maybe. Could you have squeezed it all into 1? Probably, yeah. But...
Yeah.
I think it was a great gimmick to have 2. Who was it was talking about Axl Rose's business acumen?
That was Stu Whiffen, I think.
don't
They
know.
said.
Yeah,
maybe.
about the November Rain video and how.
Yeah. That was Stu Whiffen, yeah.
I mean, obviously we went to the tour. The Use Your Illusion tour was 26 months long.
Wow.
Just 2 years. And
it's going to take it out of you. Yeah.
That's longer than it takes a pineapple to grow. Did you know a pineapple takes 2 years to grow?
No, I didn't know that, Dave. That's good info.
But they were like the biggest band in the world, right, at the time. And they were great.
There was always the are you into Nirvana or are you into Guns N' Roses thing, wasn't there? A little bit. It was a little bit.
And everyone was into both of them.
Yeah, most people were, right? Before we leave America, we've also got in 91 Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger, Temple of the Dog, self-titled, Mudhoney, Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge, and of course REM, Out of Time.
Let's talk a bit. I think we should talk a bit about REM Out of Time because we gave them a lot of shit in another episode.
It's a brilliant album, that.
Fucking brilliant, yeah. Brilliant.
Again, I say it's half a good album.
I didn't know anything about REM at the time. I thought they'd just come out of that was their first sort of album, but obviously not. They've been around for about 50 years before that.
The first time I noticed them was when watching Beverly Hills 90210, and they had Losing My Religion on it, and that must have been 91, right?
Yeah.
And that made me go out and get that album.
What's your view on Shiny Happy People? A lot of people hate it. It's a Marmite song.
I like it.
I like it too.
They hate it, don't they? But that's just because they're trying to be cooked. Like it's obviously a long way from their arty shit stuff that they used to do.
Yeah.
I like Shiny Happy People. I think it's great.
And Losing My Religion. We talked about it briefly before, but I think it's just an astonishing song. It's everything about it. It's just.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, isn't it? Yeah, good album. And I thought it was worth spending a bit of time because just to even out our rant the other week.
Luke's rant.
Yeah, sorry, Luke's rant.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, of course.
Oh, man.
Fuck. It's up there. Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Oh, brilliant album.
The only good album that the Red Hot Chili Peppers ever did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can quote me on that.
100% behind you, man. Yeah.
But what a great album. Album.
I think I had it on cassette. I just played it to death, man. I just again, then I just
fucking
felt a little bit kind of risque, and it just felt really just cool as fuck, you know?
Yeah, I've got down here. It's probably one of my All Killer No Filler albums.
I was going to say that, exactly that.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, there are a couple of kind of throwaways on there, but it's a
I don't think there is, man.
Naturally, I might be taking this back. The Power of Equality, If You Have to Ask, Breaking the Girl, Funky Monk, Suck My Kiss. These are all great, aren't they?
Yeah, amazing.
Could Have Lied. Mellowship,
Yeah.
Slinky, and B Major. Don't remember that. The Righteous and the
No.
Wicked. Yeah, good. Give It Away. The title, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Under the Bridge, Naked in the Rain, Apache. Yeah, I mean, these are all great, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's a
What a
cover of
great
their Red
album.
Hot at the end as well. Wow. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
I remember I watched a documentary on the recording of it. I think they recorded it all in like a mansion or something. It was just a really cool way to record. I don't know. Yeah, it's just saying about that album. Like, obviously, they didn't manage to emulate it before or since.
No. I know fans kind of rate Mother's Milk and that, but it's not great. Yeah.
I really like Californication. I think that's a brilliant song.
Yeah, they're good songs, but I think they became like a caricature of themselves kind of thing. They just, yeah, You know, if you're a band and you release one album like that, then fair play. Yeah.
Which makes me think of another film, right? Point Break.
Now that would be a waste of time.
Yeah, it's classic.
So good.
Swayze is best.
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves, great as well.
And of course, yeah, like Dave said, Anthony Kiedis was in it, wasn't he?
See, for my whole life, I thought his name was Anthony Kiedis. It's Anthony Kiedis, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
There's no L. I only found this out last year.
He don't care. He won't be listening, so it's fine. If he is, then apologies.
Sorry,
but we have rectified it. So
yeah. I thought that my whole life.
Hole, Pretty on the Inside.
Oh, Hole, Pretty on the Inside, the debut. Yeah. Cypress Hill's debut as well. My Guys Fugazi, Steady Diet of Nothing came out, and possibly the most momentous release of 91, Spin Doctors, Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
It's Pocket Full of Shit tonight.
They're not American, are they?
Of course they are.
Hang on, did they do Two Princes?
Yeah, they did, and that's it.
No, Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Yeah, they should have just stopped after Two Princes. It's a good song, that Two Princes, though. Two Princes, that's a good song. It was everywhere.
I put it on a Thursday throwback a little while ago. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's everywhere, wasn't it? It was a good tune. But yeah, shit band.
Oh, Pumpkins as well. Smashing Pumpkins. Gish came out.
Gish, yeah. I mean, it's a great album. I've never been. I've sort of dip in and out of Smashing Pumpkins. They're all right, but they're not like. I love Disarm. I love some of the songs off of Infinite Sadness and all that, but I wouldn't listen to them. I don't think I own any of their albums.
No, nor do I. I just want to put in, so we just saw the maybe I'm hoping we can do a future Wang on this. We just saw the beginnings of the Riot Girl movement. So Bikini Kill released their first mini album, Revolution, Girl Style Now, just a cassette release at the time. But it kind of showed what was just coming down the path, you know what I mean? So it's pretty exciting time.
Yeah, I think we definitely will do something on that Riot Girl movement.
Can we have a whole Wang on Riot Girl? Come on.
Why not?
All right.
Let's do it.
Before we leave America, wasn't that the year that Kenny Rogers opened that chain of restaurants?
Funny you should
I was
mention
thinking
that. Kenny
92, but now you say it, I think it was 91, wasn't it?
Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. So I always had 92 in my brain, but yeah, I think you're right. It was 91.
If anyone listening or watching has been to Kenny Rogers Roasters, then let us know what he roasts. Right, so should we switch to this side of the pond?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, hang on. Well, this is sort of in between. Scorpions, Wind of Change.
Yeah, well, we talked about them on the very first episode, didn't we?
We did. So we don't need to go much in it, but it's a fucking good song.
Yeah, and it was a time of hope, and it seemed to be working for a while, but there we go. Yeah.
Just quickly going back to the farm, because obviously with all the stuff going on in Gaza, we're not going to get too much. I'm not going to go into it, but so when they did that all together now, I said this is a song for peace, and it was just quite powerful, Music does that, right?
Sure. Well, it's a good segue. So the Farm Spartacus album came out in 1991. on this side of the pond. So yeah, Groovy Train all together now.
Groovy
Both on that
Train, yeah.
record. Yeah, man.
Groovy
it's
Train
great.
was great at Shine, actually. It was that's one of the highlights. Bandwagonist.
Great record.
It's a good album, right? I like Teenage Fan Club. I do like Teenage Fan Club.
Enemy had it as its number 2 album of the year. Bandwagon. Yeah, Nirvana was number 1 and Bandwagon-esque was number 2.
I'm trying to remember what's on that album, Bandwagon-esque.
Not ones you might not have heard of. I got like The Concept was what a big one. Star Sign was a hit as well.
I'm thinking of Grand Prix was the one with all their big with their bigger songs.
Maybe What You Do to Me, you might know from there.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah,
it's just like the whole album is just it's just really good. It's really good.
30-something Carter.
Yeah,
Jim Bob was brilliant.
Nice.
He was brilliant at Shine On. Yeah, he was really good. But yeah, they were a great band, weren't they?
They were good. Yeah.
Quite different, and they fucking bundled over Schofield, didn't they?
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah. Dave, do you remember that?
Who was with Schofield? Carter.
They bundled him over on the smash hits, didn't they? He sort of said
The Poll
he was
Winners
being
Party.
clever and said something, and they thought, "Fuck this, you're going down, Schofield."
And someone shouted "Bundle, bundle," and they all bundled on him. Is that what happened?
I think so.
When was the last time you had a bundle?
I haven't had a bundle for a long time.
No.
I don't think I'd survive a bundle these days.
They should do them. They probably do, don't they? On like corporate away days, they probably do bundles and that kind of shit, don't they?
The chance for some dodgy groping going on, isn't it?
That's true. That's true. They probably
couldn't really do it nowadays.
No, that's right.
Yeah, health and safety as well. You'd have to do a risk assessment. Never loved Elvis, the Wonderstuff.
I think I mentioned it in the group, Facebook group a while ago, but it was one of the first cassettes I ever bought.
Had the size of a cow on it, didn't it?
It did. Yeah. I used the Christmas tips from my paper round of 1990, Christmas 1990. So in January, I used the Christmas tips to buy my first double twin cassette player with radio, and it was really expensive. I think it was like 60 quid. Yeah, it was like 60 quid or something. I bought it in that, that electrical place opposite the library in town.
Yeah, well, electronics have gone down in price massively since the 1990s.
I remember it's expensive. Yeah. But I used all my Christmas tips and maybe some extra Christmas money I had, and I bought it. And that was one of the first tapes that I ever owned. So when you've only got a few tapes, you just play it constantly, right?
I was never a massive Wonderstuff fan, but they were one of my standout bands at Shine On this weekend. They were really good. I liked the violins, it's a bit of a Levelers vibe going on. They wrote some cool tunes, and that Dizzy was everywhere that year, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's another done special for me.
Yeah, they did have some catchy tunes.
Oh man, I love Dizzy. That's probably one of my tunes of the year. I love that. Yeah.
It's a cover, but it's a good song.
Yeah.
Like I say, after this weekend, I'm a newfound sort of fan. I think they were pretty good.
Did they do Size of a Cow?
They did Size of a Cow, and they did Dizzy as well, yeah.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a bit of Wonderstuff.
Yeah.
There's a special place for me because it's one of the first albums I bought myself, I guess.
I've got one here that says Eat Yourself Whole, but I don't know who it is.
It's Kingmaker. Yeah. Well, they're part of that kind of scene, right?
Yeah, Kingmaker are a weird one, aren't they? I remember at the time I really didn't like them. Thought they were just rubbish. But in hindsight, I think they probably were all right, but I never really had much of their stuff, I have to say. They were a really cool band, weren't they?
No, were they? No, they were one of the T-shirt bands, man. No, they're put them with the T-shirt band scene.
But I always remember, I think it was Joe Bellingham went to see them, and Radiohead supported them.
That's right.
Which is crazy to think now, right?
Yeah. Well, we're on the same then. So Carter, Stuffies, Kingmaker, also Neds Atomic Dustbin, Godfather came out in 91 as well. They're all part of the same kind of.
Also great at Shine On this weekend. Yeah, I love Neds, but only in retrospect, really. I don't think at the time I was a massive fan.
No,
I
same.
think I was too busy listening to American stuff. I love them now. You know, Trust and all that sort of thing. Great.
Yeah.
Great
And
music.
Senseless Things, First of Too Many, came out in 91 as
Yeah,
well.
got it
The
here.
list
Got
is
it written
endless.
here. Senseless Things, First of Too Many. What an album.
What about Manchester?
That was pretty much over by then, right?
Was it?
Yeah, that's got 89, 88, 89, 90 at a push. Yeah.
Manchester was kind of, it was more sort of with the acid house scene, really. It was the crossover from dance to indie, wasn't it?
Right, which leads us into another one of the most important albums there, which is Primal Scream, Screamadelica.
Without Andy Weatherall, would it have been such a seminal album? It wouldn't, would it? Just
Not
wouldn't.
at all. Have you heard their kind of 80s output?
Yeah, and I always think of Screamadelica as Primal Scream and Andy Weatherall.
I haven't heard their 80s stuff.
It's not great. And to be honest, it's a bit cringy, like the leather trousers and like the polka dot shirts, as if they're like trying a bit too hard to be like the Velvet Underground or something. Like they're trying to look cool, but it's all a bit kind of cringy. Do you know what I mean? And then they're not very good. They're kind of like the razor light of of the 80s. I don't know, man.
They were all right until Screamadelica, but I just wonder if Andy Weatherall hadn't got involved, what would have happened?
Well, they would have carried on making turgid rock music like they had for the previous 10 years.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right.
But I don't think so, because they were getting into like the acid house scene and stuff. I think I said in the last episode, I read Bobby Gillespie's autobiography, Tenement Kid. I think it was earlier this year, actually. And he talks a lot about how he was going out to, acid house clubs and getting really influenced by all the music and the drugs and everything like that. So I think, it was kind of inevitable that kind of thing was going to happen. But yeah. It's an amazing album, right? It's moving on up, Higher Than the Sun, Come Together, Loaded, just so good, and iconic cover art as well.
If you listen to their music, obviously you've got that stuff before that you've already spoken about. Then the music after is very different to Screamadelica. That album just seems to be on its own. Do you know what I mean? It all came together with that partnership between Andy Weatherall and Primal Scream.
And I think it really captured that moment. You know what I mean? That exact crossover where things started to happen in dance music, and they just captured it like perfectly, right?
I think I saw Andy Weatherall when I went to see your brother Sam. Sam can correct me, but I think he was playing in Sheffield.
Sam was a big Screamadelica fan. He said,
but this was just Weatherall. It was really good.
Yeah,
he's passed away, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend. Leisure by Blur.
Leisure by Blur.
I've never been a Blur fan, really.
Oh, I'm a big Blur fan.
What they do.
Yeah,
I know you are.
Debut album. Again, I talked about it on the Facebook page, but I think a lot of people kind of overlook Leisure. They kind of see it as the band kind of finding their feet. But I think it's a great album.
That's got There's No Other Way on it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song.
All Jukebox. It was the only song we ever played on it, wasn't it?
That's right.
Well, Simply Shit was on that as well, wasn't it? And Red Wine was on the school jukebox.
That's right. It was just those three songs, I think. Yeah. Fucking had a jukebox in the canteen.
That's great, wasn't it?
I bet they haven't got that anymore.
I wonder who snuffled that off.
Probably worth something.
Probably the old headmaster took it.
Who? Priestley?
Tight Pants.
No, Priestley was all right. He wouldn't nick a jukebox.
If it's a freebie.
Yeah, that's true.
He might have got it given to him as a leaving present. Schubert Dip.
EMF.
I think I'd prefer the follow-up album, but Schubert Dip's still a great album.
Yeah, a similar area. Jesus Jones, Doubt came out as well. Yeah.
Right, they were good at Shine On too. They opened up the main stage on the Friday.
Forthcoming guests.
That's right. Yeah, we have got Ian Baker coming up, haven't we, from Jesus Jones?
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus Jones, EMF, both had, big hits here and there, other side of the pond.
Yeah, both of them number ones in America. Yeah, massive albums.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? And of course, the year is 1991. It seems our freedom's dead and gone. Level in the Land came out in 1991.
Well, I think we went into it quite a lot when we spoke to Jeremy, but yeah, it's a great album. That's an almost all killer, no filler album, right?
Yeah, brilliant album. Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah.
And such good memories of the gig and those festivals. Yeah, I love the Levellers. There's just something about them. Maybe because they're from Brighton as well. They were always one of my favourite bands back then, I think.
Yeah, same. That's one thing we kind of all agreed on, I reckon. Not that many bands that we were all kind of equally into. I think the Levellers probably were, maybe, right?
Maybe they are one of those bands that do sort of cross genres, and a lot of people like them, don't they? And they've still got a big following now. So
yeah, I mean, we all had slightly different tastes to each other, but the Levellers was something we could all agree on, right?
yeah, I think so. I mean, Dave had very different tastes than most people. What were you listening to in 1991, Dave?
No response.
Oh, I've got another one.
Go on, him.
Electronic by Electronic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fucking brilliant, that.
Bernard Sumner, Johnny Marr, Getting Away with It. Great tune, man.
Yeah, it was great. They were a great band. How could it not be great with those two?
Who was Bernard Sumner again?
From Joy Division and then...
New Order. Well, if we're moving towards that, then if we're going towards the kind of electronic-y side of things, KLF, The White Room came out. They had so many hit singles. It's unbelievable. They had like 3 or 4 singles out in 91, and they were all like chart hits.
Yeah, I had all of them, I think. I was obsessed with the KLF.
They were good.
Well, I'm a bit of a... I only got obsessed with them when they became like chart.
Sure. Most people did. Yeah.
Whereas I know Sam Lawrence, your brother, you know who Sam Lawrence is, obviously.
I've heard of him.
He was into them way before with all the chill out.
And he recommended the documentary on the Facebook page the other day, which looks good. That's something I'm definitely going to have a look at.
It does look good. I do love the KLF. There's something about them, isn't there? They're just a bit nuts.
How do you see the documentary? Is it on YouTube?
I'm not sure.
KLF were great. And yeah, you're right. They had so many singles that year, like 3 a.m. Eternal, What Time Is Love.
Last Train to Trans Central, I think, came out.
Yeah. They had hit after hit, I remember.
Also, Orbital out that year. 808 State, who you like, Neil, I remember.
What did 808 State do then?
I don't know. What was it, Neil? You were like into them.
Yeah, but I can't remember the name.
Gary Clayle and the On New Sound System also came out that year.
Something wrong with Human Nature.
Yeah, man. I get them confused with 808 State.
I wonder what happened to Gary Clayle and the On New Sound System.
I don't know.
Dave, what were you listening to in 91? Why won't you answer us?
I mean, what your question before was ridiculous.
Just asked you what you were listening to in 1991.
Yeah, but what's the implication?
I'm just asking you what you listened to in 1991.
You make it sound like, I'm some kind of outsider.
No, wouldn't ever imply that, Dave.
Never.
Would
never think that.
Come on.
Never.
Don't bring yourself down.
But you could say, is there anything I was listening to that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, go on, him.
Okay, is there anything you're listening to in 1991 that we haven't talked about, Dave?
No.
Let me finish off the Enemy albums of the year. So 1, Nirvana. 2, Teenage Fan Club. 3, Primal Scream, Screamadelica. 4, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, World. Where did that come from? And 5, REM, Out of Time.
I can't comment on the Neil Young album because I've never heard of it.
No, same. Before we finish, can I also mention, so the Riot Girl stuff was starting, which was cool, but also the shoegaze was kind of in full swing by 1991.
Like My Bloody Valentine.
Loveless. Yeah. Have you heard it?
I have to be honest, no, I haven't.
I think you'll like it. You need to listen to the whole thing. It's a really kind of, it's like it's a sound kind of, let it kind of wash over you. It's really, really good. It's really good. It's really
I think I liked the album I listened to, and I really like Rise as well. But were they around in 91?
Yeah, we nearly went to see him, didn't we?
Oh yeah, you nearly did. Yeah, that was a fork in your road.
There you go.
It was.
But as well as My Bloody Valentine, there was Slow Dive, Swerve Driver, Chapter House, all put out albums in 91. So it was like the peak of shoegaze, basically. Yeah.
Maybe we should do something on that as well.
Yeah, we can do a wang on shoegaze. Yeah.
Talk Talk Laughing Stock came out in 1991. Mark Hollis, as I always go on about, is a fucking genius. God rest his soul. Talk Talk, a great band. But yeah, they're kind of more of an 80s thing.
What's their big album? Something of Eden. Spirit of Eden, is that right?
Spirit of Eden, yeah.
Are they a bit Depeche Mode-ish?
Yeah, well, kind of. They were in that electronic sort of ilk. They don't really sound like Depeche Mode, I don't think. I think they're a bit more sort of. I'm not sure. I like Talk Talk, but that Laughing Stock album, actually, I wasn't a massive fan of. It's a bit more sort of experimental.
Oh, sounds more interesting to me.
Yeah, you'd probably like it.
Make a note.
But yeah, anyway, that came out in 1991. U2 Acton Baby.
Easy for you to say.
Is that it? I bet you fucking love the Sphere, don't you?
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
I think it's pretty cool. I just hate the fact that they got U2 to play it. They could have got all these really decent bands that are around in this world, and they chose to get them.
That album does have some good tunes on it. I'm not a big U2 fan, but
it's a good album.
Yeah, it's got One on it. It's got Even Better Than the Real Thing. She Moves in Mysterious Ways. It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, One's a great song. I forgot that was all over the place that summer as well. That's a great song. What a ballad that is.
It's great.
I think that was the only one that they released where he wears sunglasses that I like.
Sure. Should we get on to our favourites? Let's pick our favourite songs and then albums of the year. I think maybe I've prepared more than you two on this, so don't worry if you haven't got a.
Luke's going to give us a top three, but me and Dave are going to stick to one, I think. But go for it.
Okay, shall I do all of my three first?
Give us your three.
Number three, is Losing My Religion.
There you go. See, Luke can slag off REM one week, and he can.
It's an amazing song. The rest of their stuff before that was complete shit, but this is an amazing song. Can't deny it. And I'm kind of obsessed with it. I don't really understand. I'm still trying to understand it. I think that song. I know it's just great. Number two, Unfinished Sympathy, Massive Attack.
Great song. Great song. Great video. Massive Attack. Quite hard to pin down, aren't they? Sound wise.
Yeah, well, that whole Bristol sound, just so good, right?
Yeah,
just so good. Yeah.
Yeah, Portishead. Portishead.
They were much later,
yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, Unfinished Sympathies is fucking great.
And my number one is Bikini Kill, Double Dare. And that's the one that starts, we're Bikini Kill and we want revolution, girl style now, which is probably my favourite introduction to any song.
Good choices. Dave, favourite song from 1991 is...
Well, I kept going on about You Could Be Mine, didn't I? One pop song I liked that I was looking at.
It can be a pop song.
Do you remember I Touched Myself by the Divinyls?
Sure.
That was
I was not expecting that.
Go for it. Just put it in.
It was a good song, that.
It was.
And that was 91.
Go for that. Just have that then. Have that.
Well, that's what I'm having. I've had it.
Good choice.
Oh, man. That means I get to put it into the playlist as well. Brilliant.
1991. I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to go with Nothing Else Matters.
Ooh, interesting.
It was around everywhere, and it was on MTV all the time. And I just have good memories of that summer, and that was part of the soundtrack to it. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. I think it's a great
song. Good one. Albums. I'm going to give a top three again. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for
can
it.
I just admit something?
Go on.
I can't deny that I liked I'm Too Sexy. And that... I just saw that, and
you didn't even need to tell us.
Why
you feel like you need to.
Why did you like it?
It was just so different, wasn't it, at the time?
Did you think it was about you?
I didn't think it was about me.
Did you used to sing it to yourself in the mirror?
With you jerking off?
Jerking off.
Thanks, though, man. I mean, we didn't even need to know, but thanks.
Yeah. Albums, I'm going to give top three. Are you going to give one again, or are you going to give three? Come on, you can get three out of these, can't you? There's so many.
I can do 3 albums.
All right. Yeah. Does someone else want to go first this time?
Dave, do you want to go first?
I was going to pick Blue Line's Massive Attack.
Is that number one or number three?
I haven't thought of anything else.
Okay, that's fine. One for Dave. Good choice, though, man. It's a great album. It really is.
I'm just doing my top album, right?
You can do three if you want.
I'm going to go Black Album 3. 2, I'm going to go Screamadelica. And 1, I'm going to go with First of Too Many.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a great album. I love that album.
Yeah.
Full of bangers.
Yeah. My top three, Never Loved Elvis, Wonderstuff.
Good.
Number 2, we haven't discussed it yet, but Slint, Spiderland, post-rock classic. It's one of my favourite albums ever, basically. Just completely changed the way I thought about music. It's just really, really good. Kind of, it's pure post-rock, basically. And number 1 has to be Nevermind.
Right. Yeah, you love that album.
I do. Yeah. 91.
Well, that was our roundup of 1991. I hope you've enjoyed it. Look, we probably haven't covered everything, but it's really hard, we've done our best. But if we haven't mentioned your favourite band or music from 1991, then
hey, put it in the comments. Drop us a line.
So yeah, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and start a conversation in the comments. Let us know your favourite songs, albums.
Yeah, we tried to do it justice. We know it's an impossible task, really. We did our best.
If you're listening, then please do rate the podcast and leave a review. This is quite important because it helps other people find the podcast. So please do that. It would really help us out. Luke.
Mixtape. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a long one. I've done a lot of it already, but I need the stuff that we've talked about that I wasn't expecting, I'm going to have to put in there. So yeah, hopefully be a good one. Sorry, before we finish, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to top contributor Matt Jammy on the Facebook page for turning me on to Egyptian Blue. I've been listening to their album, A Living Commodity, all week, and really enjoying it. So cheers, Matt. I appreciate that. So thanks for that.
That's community for you. So join that Facebook group where that lovely community exists, and it's a nice place to hang out
and learn about new music like I did, and find some cool shit,
So that's it for this one.
See you in a minute.